Now with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 on Verizon.
Desktop is the music that's playing.
Who's going through that?
Okay. So it's like I can swear I see it every time we talk that it's going on, so. Yeah, see? Told you they could hear us.
Listen to this.
Oh yeah, I can hear the music.
No,
yeah.
but put it on.
Okay. Then why does it spike every time we talk?
Well, what did you say? Oh, because... I know why.
Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike, welcome. Oh, you gotta scoot in here, little Dev. Come here, buddy.
No.
Hi, everybody. It's Critically Casual time, but for the first time ever, we're here in person. That's why Yay! And that's why this week is called That's a First. I'm excited for this. I really am. I don't know what else to say.
Oh, this should be good.
Yeah, this will be interesting, to say the least. I don't usually have this much of me shown on camera. Look how fat I am.
Oh, shut up. God.
Alright, so yeah, this week, it's literally called That's a First, because us two are together, we're reviewing 4 movies, because life hit us last week, so couldn't do last week.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. That's everything else.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The third thing that was a first is one of these movies, the genre that we get to in the end, is the first time I've ever seen movies like these. So. Anything you want to say or talk about before we start talking about our first movie?
No, I think we are good to go. I just need to fix one thing. Real quick.
Uh-oh. Gotta want it.
Yeah, I'm usually close to the mic, so. Dash 20-21. You. Oh, fucker.
I'd say I don't think that really matters that much, but
Matters to me.
we are organized in 2 totally different things, and that's hilarious. Like, you have things that you want organized specifically, and then I'm like, I don't really care about that stuff. You get the idea.
There we go.
There we go.
Cool. That's all that I needed.
Alright, well, let's get in here. Let's start talking about our first movie then. The first movie we're talking about, Live, Die, Repeat. I'm just kidding. It's called Edge of Tomorrow.
Yep. Which was released. Usually I have these set up already. On June 6th, 2014, with a budget of $178 million. Opening U.S. weekend, $28 million. Worldwide, or gross U.S. $100 million, and worldwide $370 million. Not as much as I thought it would make.
Yeah. You know, it's a lot easier to understand what you're saying when I can actually see the numbers at the same time you're seeing them.
Right?
There's a lot of times where I'm just like, yep, he's saying numbers. Mm-hmm. Cool.
No, they all make sense.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Yeah, they make sense. Just, I barely listen to you.
Yeah, I know. So it's
Yeah.
a little faster.
Yeah. So yeah, we are talking about right now, Edge of Tomorrow, which was released, as you said, on
June 6th of 2014.
Yeah. And starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt and
Bill Paxton.
And this was honestly a fun movie. Like, everyone, I guess it's spoilery, kind of, not really. Like, Edge of Tomorrow. If I say it's a Groundhog's Day movie, people usually know what that means.
Yeah, it's a genre now.
Yeah. So yeah, Groundhog's Day movie where, you live, you die, you repeat. And you go on and on and on and on and on. And, I mean, at first, when I saw this, I was like, really? Because, I'm a pessimist. I'm skeptical about everything. And, I just thought it was silly. But then after watching it, I was like, yeah, this is silly, but I like it.
It's a great movie, honestly. Yeah. I get a blast out of it already, so.
I mean, hey, it's Tom Cruise. It's like, you can't really do wrong when it's an action movie starring Tom Cruise. This is all into it, and it usually ends up working out. But I think my favorite thing about it, though, is his character, Cage, the transformation from his character from beginning to end.
Yep.
Yeah, because in the beginning he's a coward, and by the end he's not, which is amazing. And I love the tonal shifts that we get through this movie as it's progressing. We have our funny moments, we got our serious moments, we've got our action, awesome intenseness. This was a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, no, it's great. I genuinely really enjoyed it. There's so much to it that I just didn't expect from it. This is the first time watching it for me. And so it's definitely up there for me. I really enjoyed everyone's acting. Everyone just had a good time with this movie, it feels like, and making it. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Just the most ungraceful bite of food I've ever taken on camera.
Jesus Christ.
I felt like my jaw unhinged to get those pepperonis. All right.
Already on it.
But yeah, it was fun. It was entertaining. I especially like I said, with the character development stuff, you can see how a lot of stuff matters. Even to the point when we get to the movie, end of the movie, and all of the decisions that were made matter to a point where outcomes change. And, it's so cool. I do like Groundhog's Day movies for that aspect of, seeing the butterfly effect.
Yes.
And what would happen in each, instance. But I also, sometimes don't like them because they feel a little samey from time to time. Depends on the movie, of course. But I like this one. This one was good. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I think, honestly, my, unsung hero, or still really some hero, would probably just have to be Emily Blunt. Just because if it wasn't for her and the doctor that she talks to,
Dr. Carter, Noah Taylor.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, that's them.
Dr. Carter. Yeah. So if it wasn't for those two explaining the super weird concept that was the freaking mimics and how they work, that this movie would probably honestly go over. It would be okay, this is a little too ridiculous, but since it also makes sense because it's a very natural way to put the Groundhog's Day spin on it because they're aliens, and it's because they're aliens that we get this effect.
Yes.
Unlike in other movies where Happy Death Day to You, just for some reason every time she dies she wakes back up, and it's just because it's her birthday or something. I don't know. So this is a more natural
progression.
Yeah. It feels very nice. It's a very cohesive story.
Yeah, no, I genuinely really enjoyed how the story was given to us, and everything that goes along with it. It's just a good. Oh, I don't think I was getting picked up there. I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, no, it was really enjoyable. Overall. Here, you know what? I'm gonna mess with something real quick.
Yeah, lower the sound gate.
Yep. Where's my mic? La la la. La 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 la. Cool.
Round, round, get around, I get around. Sorry, that's what I think of every time somebody does that.
Okay, now it's picking me up. Yeah, no, I just really enjoyed the movie overall. It was just a really enjoyable story with a lot of good action, a lot of good characters, and some real moments of being like, "What the fuck? I didn't expect that."
Oh, I gotta say, I loved one of my favorite things was Master Sergeant Farrell, how he is this. You first meet him, and he's like this charming, suave, like smart ass. It was like where you kind of think that he's coming up with all this stuff on the fly to come up with his reaction to his responses and whatnot. But then as like the things repeat over and over and over again, you get to see a deeper look into this guy to be like, yeah, he had to prepare this speech, and he's prepared all of his speeches ahead of time, and just to make sure he sounds good. And I like that at some points they even stop editing in the deaths because they understand that we as an audience can keep up with what's happening.
Yeah.
So we don't have to know that this is their first or their 50th time in a situation because it just works.
Yeah, no, it does a really good job of that. Like, it gives you a really good storytelling without like having to show you everything every time. So, good job, movie.
Great job, movie. Yeah. You want to ratings and move on, or?
Yeah, let's do some popcorns.
So if I had to give this one Edge of Tomorrow, Live Die Repeat, whatever people want to call it, I'd probably give it a nice 7.5. Pretty fun. I'd watch it again. In fact, I did watch it again.
8.5. So you're half a point under where I thought you would be.
Really, you thought I'd give it an 8?
I thought you'd give it an 8.
Yeah,
There we go. All right, on to the next one.
Moving on up to our second movie in the Tomorrow franchise, otherwise known as the Tomorrow War,
which was released this year on July 2nd of 2021. Budget estimated of $200 million, and gross worldwide is $14.4 million.
They actually gave us a budget for this movie. That's kind of
surprising with Amazon. I guess because it made it was released somewhere.
I guess, yeah, just the theaters. Yeah. Must have been released somewhere. But, this movie, you seemed at first skeptical to watch this movie.
Yes.
Because you had heard rumor and whatnot of everything that was happening. And I was like, it can't be that bad. It's Chris Pratt. And after the movie started, the first thing I found out, like every movie that Dev has me watch, is you gotta turn off your brain. You can't ask critical questions in this movie. Because, as it sounds, the movie's called The Tomorrow War. The idea is there's a war happening in the future. And we gotta help. Tomorrow, basically. It's 30 years. Not really tomorrow, but whatever. But a future happening in the future. A war's happening in the future. And, people are dying. And they're like, yeah, let's get help from the past. But not the kind of help that I thought they were going to get. Because my first thought was, why don't we start working on the problem 30 years ahead of time? And then, fix the problems like that. And forget about all of these people. Like, this was literally a weird allegory at one point. It felt like for abortion. Like, pro-life versus abortion discussions, because they're literally, like, there's news articles in this movie going, there's news position, as we like to call it, being, some people don't think this is our war to fight. And other people are like, are you really going to let your grandchildren and your kids die? Like, even if they're not even born yet? Like, that's literally lines in this movie. So, they have these weird themes going on, and instead of fixing the problems in the past and then making the future more, prepared, which, I guess, once again, are we asking questions like, what kind of time questions is this? Loop? Is it, multiverse? Is it, those kinds of questions?
Yeah.
But then, the way they fix the problem, or at least their solution, is not to fix the problem in the past, but to send the people from the past to the future. And fight in the future. And that's where I was lost. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? You're like, this whole thing hinges around them going to the future and like character development that we don't even know about because they're in the future. And I was really confused because our main character, Chris Pratt, his name is Dan Forrester, and at some point we're led to believe that something major happens between Dan and his family. And I never got the impression that Dan was ever going to do anything wrong to his family or around his family. Like, at no point in the movie did I think that that was going to be a character flaw of his. Because it didn't feel like a character flaw. Maybe there's like a couple of lines that like could mimic the idea of him being a terrible father, but really, no. It really feels like that part was rushed. But the stuff that we do get, like, I love the action scenes. I thought it was interesting that the first time we got to see the aliens, they were practically done, but then afterwards they were all CG, only because of the movement and the sporadicness.
Yeah.
I thought it was also, that's part of the reason why I called this the Tomorrow series, even though there's nothing to do with the Tomorrow War in this, is the movies, the mimics in The Edge of Tomorrow, and the monsters in this movie, whatever they're called, the
White Claw.
White Claws. No, I don't think that's not right. That's alcohol.
Yeah, they're White Claw.
Alright. Now for a frat party in the future. And everyone's
let me double
dying
check.
from alcohol
What are
poisoning.
the aliens in the Tomorrow War called? White Spikes.
I was like, it's white something else. White spikes. Okay.
Man, I wasn't too far off.
You weren't. Now I want to see a parody. We're making a parody called of this. Oh, fuck. Okay.
The Tomorrow Battle.
The Tomorrow Battle, and we're fighting White Claws as a bunch of frat people.
God.
You've done this. Sorry. I really like that idea. But this movie goes on, and it's fun. It's, at moments, it's ridiculous for some of it. But ultimately, I think I have to say that I kind of enjoyed it. Skeptically, I kind of enjoyed it a little.
Man, we're not going to be on the same page on this one.
Really?
I didn't.
Not at all?
Not really, no. Like, I never felt engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the plot seemed silly to me. The whole third act feels like such an add-on
Yeah, it's kind of tacked on.
that it just blows my mind that it's there.
But they
At
saved
all.
the day,
I
Dev.
don't care.
They changed the future.
I don't care. It's dumb.
It is dumb. Because, like I said, they go from fixing the problem in the future to then fixing the problem in the past. Because
Also, dude, Volcano Boy,
Volcano Boy? Having a problem remembering.
they set up this kid in the classroom.
Oh, Volcano Boy.
Volcano Boy.
Yes. The weirdest, like, setup for the, like, from the beginning to the end of the movie. Like, that's the weirdest tie to get to the, yeah.
It makes no fucking sense.
But they're ancient volcanoes!
I don't care. Jesus.
You,
God, it's so dumb.
you realize, Dev, that those aren't just ancient volcanoes? Those are ancient aliens. They probably built the pyramids.
No, they didn't. Shut up. Get out of here with your stupid, like, white nonsense.
They're white spikes, man. And those pyramids are spiky triangles. I'm done. Especially because, oh, I guess we're all done. Especially because, where they end up fighting in the end, like, I guess is Russia? They end up in Russia?
Yeah.
And oh, that's another thing. This is also a movie talking about global warming. At some point, like it talks about pro-choice. It talks about global warming. It talks about like the atrocities of war and our like how we take care of people after, how we take care of our veterans. Like this was literally supposed to be a discussion and an allegory for what we're doing now. just set in the future.
It misses the mark.
It does, I agree. But you know, it's Brad Pitt, Chris Pratt. Fuck. Well, that's a Freudian slip. I guess I would prefer to see Brad Pitt in this movie. 50-year-old man with his shirt off.
Man, I don't know. I don't know who I would have preferred to see this. I would just prefer not to see it. It's not for me. It's dumb. Like, I can have dumb fun, but like, this movie takes itself way too seriously for how dumb it is with a lot of its stuff. Like, what military sends people who have no military experience into battle?
Especially against, like, they're literally just throwing bodies at the problem. That is their solution. Because, yeah, wasn't their training literally, they said, there's no physical exercise, we're not going to teach you anything, we're literally just giving you guns and sending you.
It's so dumb.
Mm-hmm. But hey, good thing Chris Pratt was already been in war a few times.
Yeah.
Especially, it wasn't like the character's name was Dorian, right? His, like, little fun friend.
Yeah, I was Dorian.
Yeah, like, he ended up having this whole, like, character arc that also was tacked on.
No, that was Charlie.
Charlie?
Dorian's the claw guy.
Oh, the badass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's just a whole other thing. Whatever.
Like, they get... Like, it's a minor spoiler, but they get dropped partway through the movie and show up for the third act.
Yes, they do.
Why the fuck? How did they make it, too? Because we saw...
Yeah. Like, we literally see that entire base that they're supposed to be in over-swarmed. All of humanity is supposed to be dead. But no, they survived. It's fine. But hey, at least we got to see bodies falling from the top of skyscrapers.
Did we need that, though?
No, it was literally just the spectacle. Because that's how they opened the movie, too. They wanted to hook you in with something that's like, oh my god, they're falling into a skyscraper pool?
This whole movie's a flashback, technically, too.
Yeah.
Until the third act.
Technically? Is it? I don't know. It's a flashback for... No. Yeah, no.
Or a flash forward?
It's hard to say, because it's all... It's not really like Chris Pratt's reminiscing about... I guess it's a flashback up until halfway through when we actually start falling. It could be a flashback for Emmy, maybe, but I don't think so.
You mean Mary?
Mary, the older...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emmy's the wife.
I just don't know their names. Guess that shows how much I care.
You said you enjoyed this movie.
I did enjoy it. But it's dumb.
It's too dumb for me.
Well, it's just kind of funny. Like, I actually thought this would be a movie you'd enjoy, because I was like, yeah, it has dumb action, it has pretty colors, it has interesting concepts.
It does not have pretty colors. The thing is under a fucking Instagram filter the entire fucking time.
But there's purples and greens in the sky, and a lot of red.
It's like an orange hue the entire time in the future.
Because the future is burning.
And the past is cold and bleak. It's not fun.
Not even Chris Pratt's amazing humor that he doesn't use. God. What about J.K. Simmons being in this movie?
Somehow he is the saving grace.
He is kind of the part that I do enjoy. Only because of the dialogue between him and Charlie. Like, those two is hilarious to me.
Yes, they are great together.
So, I don't know. This movie, it's okay. I thought it was entertaining, but...
Even if you had to give it a rating, what would you give it?
Give it a 5. A nice right in the middle 5.
Hey, same.
I like how we had completely different opinions, but same score.
Happens all the time.
It's not as bad as we used to do, though. Literally used to be every single show we'd argue at each other for 30 minutes and then come with the exact same score.
We just know it happens now. We understand how this works.
This was awful. 5 out of 5. This was great. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 10, but whatever. All right, are we ready for the third movie?
Yes. Give me a second. There we go.
Gotta fix the drive. So, this movie was originally not on our list.
This movie released October 20th, 2017. There is no fucking info about a budget. And I could care less about a budget because, my lord, what a dumb movie.
God, is this a dumb movie? Like, literally, so the problem was this week we were originally going to do Jeepers Creepers Reborn, Jeepers Creepers 4, and Malignant. But it turns out Jeepers Creepers 4 wasn't scheduled to release this week. It was pushed back, at least as far as we can tell. So we scrambled, and I had watched...
Oh, yeah, which, by the way, next week isn't Venom because of the 3 moves it did after we announced what we were doing.
Yeah, so that's fun. But, yeah, so we switched to we tried to fill in the spot for Jeepers Creepers. I talked to Dev about a couple of movies, because I watched Malignant first, and then wanted to try find a movie that fit similarly. And I found this, and I was like, Dev, this movie's going to be awful. Do we want to watch it? He said yes. So let's blame Dev on this one.
I'll take the blame on this horror movie.
Yeah, it was a horrible movie to watch. It was
God.
bad. Oh my God.
I blame you for suggesting it. Being like, we haven't ripped into a movie in a while. Let's rip into a movie. I don't even know where to begin with this movie, ripping it a new asshole, because, like, my lord, dude, it's so dumb. I know it's supposed to be like a cheaply made movie, but, like, bro,
it's a free movie from IMDb TV, something I never heard of. You can watch it free.
Oh God,
I saw it on Amazon Prime for free.
Yeah, well, I think they're paired up.
Yeah, I think what it was IMDb TV is the one that released it originally, and then Amazon Prime also just has it because it's a partnership thing that they have. But God, was this awful. Like, so as it says, the synopsis for this movie is: after a traumatic accident, a bike courier begins to experience blackouts and hallucinations. She soon discovers that she's being dangerously influenced and even controlled by her unborn twin. Now, is that you saying that, or is that your unborn twin saying that?
God, I do not have an unborn twin.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We can give you head trauma to the back of your head, and then apparently that's how you trigger the resurrection of your unborn twin. So, according to this movie, at least.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
So, yeah.
She takes a head injury.
Because she was hit while riding her bicycle, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that starts the whole thing. And then from that point on, the character goes crazy.
Yeah.
And I like, the one thing, too, is the side character, Molly, is the worst, like, flip-floppiest character that I have ever seen.
She is the worst part of this movie.
Yeah. Like, it's literally, there's a whole 30 minutes of this movie, like the middle 30 minutes of this movie, where she's like, I hate you. I care about you. Stay away from me. Where are you going? Come back. Stay away, you murderer. Like, there's literally, she cares, and then she's afraid, and like, it feels so wishy-washy and flippy-floppy, especially, too, because, like, the cinematography in this movie very poorly portrays what's happening, where it literally, she says it, like, the screen turns black, and then she wakes up in a different spot. And that's just bad. Because then we're left guessing what's going on. She's like,
I was going to do a body count for this, but, like,
there's barely any bodies.
Yeah.
And the weird part, too, is this movie opens up with, like, a strange series of sex scenes about a character that's not even in this movie. Like, and I think the worst part about it all, too, for me, is that stupid like thought that the fetus inside of a mother can retain its memories.
Yeah, we don't want to go about this. I hate it.
This movie was bad, like real bad. Helen wasn't a good main character. Molly was the worst part of this movie. There's really shitty male characters. A lot of this feels like it was written by a horny man too. At one point,
Yeah.
we've got our doctor. Like none of these are actors or actresses you've ever heard of, probably. So, but we can talk about them, I guess. But they're still not like none of these people are good. This movie was bad. The concept of this movie was bad. The execution of the
I
movie
will
was
say
bad.
it's not like poorly acted. It's just horribly written.
Yeah.
Like, to the actors' credits, they tried. I can see that they put effort into their roles. It's just that the roles sucked. Like, you can only do so much for a bad role.
Yeah. This was a bad role for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Like, the character Ed, he is dating Molly, but falls in love with Helen, and none of it is motivated, except he's like, you smell weird, and I have this sex thing for you. That's it. And a lot of the suspense in this movie is through, like, Helen. Helen's supposed to be our lens through this film as she's getting scared, and we're getting scared. A lot of this movie has, like, it's body horror, as well as psychological
God,
horror.
I hate the body horror.
And the body horror is, like, the only part of this movie that made me watch. Because that was the part that I was like, ooh, cringe. Like, I could feel the pain, and that's kind of, like, what, like, the tension that I enjoy in watching a horror movie myself.
I hate it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I really can. But even those scenes weren't enough for me. They really, like...
They were fine to me.
Like, the one scene that I'm thinking of is when she, for some reason, decides to break her cast.
Yeah, let's not get into too much detail about it, please. I don't want to relive it, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's horrible, and I don't like it.
But I want to talk about the finger.
I don't want to talk about it!
Okay, fine.
I hate it. I hate all of it.
There was a moment that was almost grudgish with the hair, but...
Yeah, that was gross, too.
Yeah, that was just gross. There was nothing scary about that part. Just gross.
Oh, God. Dude.
And, like, who... By the way, if I ever gave you a painting that looked like a skeletal version of you, and I said, this is you, because this is how I see you, I would be an awful friend. I feel. Like... That's literally how this movie starts. It's like, this is an image of you, and it's a black and white picture with her all, like, skeletal and sucking in and creepy and shit. And she's like, this isn't me. And the guy's response was, not everybody sees you the same way you see yourself. I mean, I'd be really offended if, like, I was given that and someone's like, this is how I see you, as a dark black monster. Like,
Yeah, because it's a black and white photo that, like, or painting that, like, it's weird.
yeah, and it keeps, like, this movie takes, like, hints from demon movies, like possession films, and it does it very poorly. Because, like I said, she's being controlled by her twin, her unborn twin.
Yeah.
So, that's the part, like, the possession part, that's where it comes from, but it's still, like, so weakly done.
Yeah, it's not well done at all.
So, like, I haven't got much else to say.
No.
So, how many popcorn kernels would you give this movie, Dev?
Giving it a 2.
Nice. I was gonna give it a 3.
That's lower than I thought. Ready to give it a 4.
Oh, I'm just lower than what you think today, I guess.
Yeah.
I drove 3 hours today. I'm just in a grumpy mood. I don't know.
All right. On to a movie that's extremely different.
And also still incredibly disappointing.
Incredibly the same.
Yeah. Malignant!
Released September 10th of 2021 with a gross US so far of 9.8 million. Opening weekend made 5 million and worldwide 24 million. You can see why I don't like what they did with their update.
Yeah, I can see why. That's a little annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you understand my problem with... Because it used to go in order.
Yeah, you could start at the top and then scroll down. Now you have to scroll all the way down.
Well, and then the order of the things that they... Like, the money stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is in the wrong order now.
Like, I feel like it should be opening weekend first, then gross overall.
That's how it used to be!
Yeah.
And they changed it!
No one cares about opening weekend stats. No, but...
Bullshit.
Yeah. So, this movie, Malignant, is the return of James Wan to the horror genre after doing Insidious and The Conjuring and Saw. It's a big letdown.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, my favorite part of this movie is the visual cinematography. I thought the visuals and the editing and the cinematography was amazing. Like, technically, it was a great film for the filmmaking part. But the story and the scares and, like, the twist, it's so I was literally, like, I told you this already, but to the audience, I literally laughed. I was laughing through the whole movie. Like, I almost fell off my couch laughing when the big reveal happened. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is literally the horror.
It's so dumb!
Like, so, because throughout this whole movie, there's this, like, it's blending a lot of different genres of horror. There's, like, the techno horror, there's mixtures, there's, like, ghosty, spiritual, possession horror, there's split personalities, there's sleep paralysis fears. Like, it's this weird mixture of all of this stuff, and it's bad.
Not good.
Yeah, and there's a reason. I mean, I'm already gonna say spoilers a little bit. There's a reason why it's paired with Let Her Out, because
There's a twin.
there's a combined twin, that malignant, as in a malignant tumor. Ha 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 ha. Clever. So yeah, there's a combined twin, and that twin.
I just got that.
Did you really? Yeah. Okay. I don't blame you. It's so dumb. It really is.
That's why he says cut out the cancer so much?
Yes.
Oh my lord!
Because he's being compared to cancer. Cut out the cancer. Which, that is the dumbest way to start a movie, by the way, is a woman talking to the camera for, like, a journal log, and she's like, yeah, there's this customer, this is patient, his name is Gabriel, and he's a problem. And then someone runs in to tell her something's going wrong, and she spikes the camera and picks up a knife, and she's like, time to cut out the cancer. And then it cuts to the future, or present day, and God, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
And, like, I was kind of interested at one point because, like I said, I thought the cinematography was great. I loved the sleep paralysis scenes where she's sitting there and the walls are changing and molding around her, and, like, it looks great. It's probably the best time I've seen the James Wan 360 camera work, where he shows the entire room as it's adapting. It doesn't look bad.
There was one scene that I really liked, was the over-the-top scene.
Yeah, in
the house.
Yeah. Or what about the police station?
Oh, I didn't care for that.
Oh, I understand.
Because that's when the movie got dumb.
Yeah. But
really dumb.
But we didn't even talk about how bad the ending for Let Her Out was. Because that ending and this ending are fairly similar at times.
I prefer Let Her Out ending.
Because at least it's like a complete...
Yeah, like where it ends, like, we don't need to know what happens next, but we can theorize ourselves. The end of this movie just fucking goddamn, what is it? The Deep or whatever? The Crawl.
The Crawl. Yes, it's Crawl.
We keep getting crawled!
We're safe! Oh, God. But, and even too, like, I thought it would be interesting at some point because we literally had in life getting getting a little political here. We've had in Texas where women have lost the right to their bodies, and a big discussion with right-wingers about COVID vaccine is losing control of your bodies. But like, so I thought this would be an interesting movie to throw in here, and it's not. It's so disappointing. It's just I would get really drunk and watch this movie just to like.
I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't even you wouldn't put this on as like a Patreon, like get drunk and rewatch this kind of movie. It's not even worth that kind of treatment.
No, because like maybe I don't know, man.
Because
like,
you know how fun it would be to like roast this movie. Because I think that would be great.
We'd have to do a like mystery science
theater.
theater version of it.
Exactly.
It's the only way it works.
I was thinking like the Sesame Street, Ebert and Roger Ebert, but you get the idea. The two Muppets in the back of the booth that are always critiquing everything.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like, this movie's painful. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like,
do you want to get into spoilers then? Give it our ratings and move on to spoilers?
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, alright.
I'll give you your popcorn.
Me, I'm going to give it a 5.5. Just because the visuals make me really like what we saw, but I hated everything else. Well, not necessarily hated, but it was just so disappointing to see what happened.
Try and do some math. What would a 3-point difference fall on?
So,
I'm giving it a 2.5.
So 2.5 and 5.5. So when it,
Would that be a 4?
I think so, yeah, because it'd be a 3, like just above a 3.5. So and then we round up.
Okay. I'm gonna have a 2.5. For me, it's barely better than Let Her Out.
Mm-hmm. It's only better because it's James Wan, and he's still a great like visual storyteller, but he was a very bad horror storyteller in this instance.
For once.
Yeah.
He's usually really good.
Do you have the capability of doing the doop Morse code stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Well, we're not there yet, but is the spoiler button ready?
Yeah, it's always ready.
Okay. Can you press the button for me?
Let's get ready to spoiler!
Nothing's different on this end.
I know. It's just funny watching you being like, all right, I need the thing, and stretching all the way over here, and I didn't know if you'd have to stretch really far to press the button.
No, it's right there. The other one I'll have to stretch a little bit further, but...
Yeah, and do the rhythms. That's going to be the hard one.
No, I can do it.
All right, I believe in you. Yeah. So Malignant spoilers.
Why? Does it need to come out of the back of the fucking head?
Yeah, because in both movies, they get back of the brain trauma. And like that was
No. First one was frontal lobe.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, this one was ridiculous because she's literally like ripping the back of her brain open, and then her skull cracks open, and then you see an eye and like a mouth, and it's like it's literally ridiculous.
Does it start talking at the end?
Yes, it does. The mouth starts talking. Even though it still is also speaking over the speakers, the mouth also starts moving the talk. Which, that is something that made me really confused throughout the whole movie. That whole, like, Gabriel's absorbing the electricity! If he's supposed to be just a fucking human being, how the hell can he absorb electricity? That's the stuff that I got confused on, because it was like, he's a ghost. That's something that spiritual horror focuses on, is use of, like, electricity and signals and stuff. But he's a conjoined twin who is still alive, but just fused. But he could still take control.
A parasitic twin, as
Yeah,
they call
a
it.
parasitic twin. And literally that fucking reveal where it's like she's sitting there with her adopted family, because that's important apparently. This isn't her birth family, she was adopted. And that's where the first scene comes from, where the mother was stabbing herself in the stomach with a pair of scissors to try and kill the baby. And
No, that's a different movie.
either way.
That's
yeah, that's Litter out again.
Yeah. Don't worry, Steven. These movies are very similar, so I don't understand the confusion.
But yeah, so the little young child births a front and back baby, kind of like one of those spinny head toys. And the way they solve it, the cut out the cancer, was they cut off its vestigial arms and they push the face into her skull. And then clamp her skull.
How has she not had, like, issues?
Like migraines or brain problems? Like, yeah. Especially because that was the part that made me laugh really hard. They literally show her grabbing Gabriel, the twin's face, and pressing it in, but they share the same brain. So, like, where is she pressing this face into to hide it behind a skull? And the thing that I thought was stupid the whole time too is her best friend, who's like, "What's going on with you, Maddie?" Right? Maddie was the main character,
Maddie's a
and
main character.
Sydney was the best friend.
Sister.
Yeah. Sydney, the sister, like, would stop by, and every morning they'd be like, "Why is there blood on the back of your pillow?" And they'd ignore it every single time. Like, literally, she wakes up 3 days in a row with blood on her pillow and thinks nothing of it. The sister thinks nothing of it. She lets it deflect, and like, oh god. And in the end, like, there's this moment where Gabriel apparently all he wanted was to feel accepted. So when he's there taking control of Madison's body, which this was the part that I thought was kind of interesting but was also stupid, is because he is taking control of her and he's on the back of her, everything he does is upside down because she's supposed to be this way, but she's running this way and she's like
Dude, that fucking CGI run. It's so dumb. It's so bad.
There's a lot of really bad CGI moments.
There's some good practical moments of Gabriel that I'm like, okay, that was kind of impressive. And then it's followed by such stupid. Also, there's a whole fucking V for Vendetta moment in this. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're just cops. Yeah. Like, you're not supposed to do this. You're not, like, I'm ACAB, but, like, there's a line.
Yeah.
You crossed it.
Yeah. This was a choice. I thought this was going to be so good. I was so interested to see an original idea.
Steven, I knew this wasn't going to be good.
But it's James Wan.
I don't care.
He's a great director.
This looked dumb.
I never even saw the trailer, like always, so.
Trailers are misleading about what happens, but, like, still dumb. It looked dumb in the trailer to me.
So, like, the start of this movie is, the record and the let's cut out the cancer. Then we jump to Madison being in an abusive relationship and losing a bunch of babies. And I think that's stupid too. Like, why is it that in a lot of horror movies that involve women, that, like, it's always a pregnancy thing involved as well?
Because we have to do the tropes, man. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
So, yeah, she's had 4 miscarriages, and she thinks it's because she's terrible, and her abusive boyfriend is like, it's because you're terrible, and he's, yeah. And then the movie progresses, abusive boyfriend dies, and that actually, I liked his death. I liked that scene. I also liked the scene where he, like, peeks up from behind, like, the body, like, yeah, when the dead husband is crumpled against the floor, and then from out of nowhere, the shadowy figure pops up. I was like, ooh, that's cool. And then the wall breaks down, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. What's going to happen? And then they throw it all away. Like, it's all gone.
Genuinely, I thought she was going to die, and we'd move on to a different character.
It'd be interesting. It would be very interesting. But no, she survives. Her sister gets involved. At one point, another character who we don't know who it is gets involved. She's, like, tied up, and she's like...
We all know who she is, though.
She's the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the moment, it's supposed to be a mystery.
It never was.
Yeah. And...
It was either the adoptive mother or the biological mother. That was the only two options.
And then we see the adopted mother later.
Yes.
So, biological mother. And it's all like, where is the biological mother? Where is Gabriel holding this person? What's going on? And then the biological mother somehow magically manages to escape and fall through the floor of the attic that she's staying in, which just happens to be Madison's home. So it's like, what's going on? She doesn't have control. Oh my
What's
god.
going on?
Yeah, and then this is when the movie flips, where suddenly she's not like afraid of Gabriel, and she doesn't forget Gabriel. She's like, I remember Gabriel. He's here to talk to you. He's the devil. I'm gonna listen to him anyways. And then she literally rips her skull open to release Gabriel, and kills everybody, and goes through a murder montage through the police station. And then,
Also, what is with like every time we do a fucking drunk take like place at a police station, if it's women, they either look like trash, or for some reason, if they're then this is like a choice. Anytime it like there's a black woman, they look like they're from the 70s. Like she was dressed in the 70s outfit, and I'm like, why? What is the point of this jail cell? You either like you get the ratchet looking people, or they look like they're from the 70s.
also, like, in that police station, I don't know prisons myself, but I'm pretty sure there'd be more police watching the prisoners.
No, it's the jail cells. It's the drunk tank. They don't worry about
Yeah, so yeah, they don't worry about all 20 people who suddenly died in less than a minute. Fine. Why are there all 20 people in there, by the way? Why did they let these 20 people mob this one woman? Why did they let this one woman murder 20 people and then escape? Because there's only one guard.
How did the cops not shoot her?
Yeah, because she's literally just scurrying around backwards. They miss every shot. It's so dumb. It was so disappointing.
So very dumb.
I'm very sad. Like, I hate that horror is my favorite genre because every
you get to
horror
see
we
some dumb shit.
Yeah, every single time it's dumb. It's so disappointing. Oh well, not much we can do about it.
Nope.
Anything else you want to spoil?
No.
Well, all right. We're moving on to the news. All right. You struggled a little, but you got there.
That just took me a moment because it's further away.
Yeah. So the news and wrap up and whatnot. Emmys happened.
Yay.
Yeah.
You know I don't care about award
Yeah.
shows.
I know. Though the only thing I wanted to bring up about the Emmys, I don't know who won anything except for RuPaul Charles, the drag queen. RuPaul is now the most awarded Emmy recipient as a black creator in the history of the Emmys, which I find that interesting, especially because what she's won now is, I think she's gone 5 or 6 years in a row as the head, as the winner of host of a reality TV show. And then RuPaul's Drag Race usually wins Best Reality TV Show. So, I thought that was interesting. Oh, I didn't tell you about this. I found 2 job postings online to watch 13 horror movies in 13 days and get paid $1,300. So, you have to apply to them, of course. And it kind of feels, one of them is through like the website was Financial Buzz or something, like Finance Buzz, which obviously that one's just a gimmick to try and get you on their mailing list to send you more spam and stuff like that. And their whole thing is they'll pay you $1,300 to watch 13 scary movies, and they're studying to see if the budget of the horror film will make the horror movie better or worse. So you have to wear a heart rate monitor, and you have to record your heart rate while watching the movies, and that's basically it. And that one, like I said, it's a little sketchy because all they're trying to do is send you ads. The one that I do trust, the one that I applied for, was through Dish Network, and they're doing the exact same thing. 13 horror movies in 13 days for $1,300. Only their thing is they're only doing Stephen King movies. So you're watching 13 Stephen King movies, and you could decide between the originals or the remakes, and yada blah 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 blah. And that one I applied to. So if you're interested in possibly making $1,300 and you have a social media following, because I'm pretty sure that's what they're looking for, you should apply. Because they ask questions like, what's your social media handle? And do you have any websites that we can look at? And stuff like that.
No, none. None at all.
I have a website. I just don't use it.
Show them here.
Basically, I usually, when I'm like, yeah, this is my work, I usually send them your channel. Because even though it's not my face, it is my editing.
Yeah.
So...
You're accurate. It is your work.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Do you have any interesting news?
No.
What about next week's movies?
Next week's movies I got.
Alright.
Since we've had to audible 2 weeks in a row. Next week is now Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim 2. Because we put it off for a little bit.
Yeah, that was one of the shows that we had to cancel due to...
Fire and Funeral.
Yeah. You guess which one had which? And then you can flip it around later
For
on.
this year, yeah.
Because you had Fire and I had Funeral.
And we missed last week.
Oh, God. We're in a simulation, Dev. Nothing is real. This is all.
It picks you up, alright? Fucking wrap it. Let's wrap.
Yeah, we're done here. Thank you for everybody for being here. You're awesome. I hope you enjoyed this first ever time where we're next to each other. I think that's been well.
Yeah, I think it went well.
Yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a review, and we'll see you next week for Pacific Rim.
Woo!
Dev, make monster noise or mech noises. Do that.
No.
Oh, fine.